All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 381 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and today we're going to talk about what is going on at Georgia Southern. It is the end of June, going into July, and we pretty much have our roster. What you see now is what you get. I don't think there's going to be any more transfers coming in, playing right away. I don't think there's going to be anybody leaving the team right now. So what we see right now on the roster is what we have. And I got, to let you guys know this journey that the Georgia Southern Eagles are about to take on, this whole transition is about to start. And this entire month, going to July, August, and in the beginning of September, this is what we have. So I want you guys to really pay attention to what's going on within the next couple of months, next 60 days, before the first game starts, and really take heed to what your team is about. I'm going to be here talking about it as we go along, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions about this journey because this journey is starting now. So we're going to talk about that, and we're just going to go from there. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. Episode 381. We're moving right along. By the time, the season starts, we'll be well over 400, and we're going to be getting into the football season up against Morgan. Morgan State, I think, who we play first. Man, I just lost track of thought. Morgan State, we're playing them first, and we're going to get into everything between now and then. But this journey is starting now. This entire situation where we lost Chad Lunsford, moving everything to a more pro-style offense, getting more guys in that fits that type of offensive style. Cal Vantrease to the Jeremy Singletons. We already had the running backs, got a couple of more tight ends and some more receivers to come in. This offensive line, which I'm going to make a video about that once again, talking about the offensive line. Can they transition to being more of a pass-protecting team, pass-protecting core, compared to the run blocking that they've been doing, which they've been phenomenal at. I mean, the run blocking was one of the best. I want to touch on that at a later time, but you look at what's going on with this offense. I have faith in the defense. I think defense is already fine. We got a better defensive coordinator. We're going to be good on that aspect. But I'm looking at this offense, and, basically I'm just looking at the team as a whole, but I'm leaning more towards the offense because we got to know what we need to know what we're dealing with, because now there's no turning back. There's no worrying about the triple option. There's no worrying about the glory days. I mean, you can look back on them, but this journey that the Georgia Southern Eagles football program is about to take, it starts now. This is it. The roster is pretty much solidified. There's no coming or going. I don't think there's going to be any other players leaving. I don't think there's going to be any other players added for the 2022 season, which I think that, the 2023 recruiting class is looking really good right now, but that's another story for another day. This is what we have. And my thoughts are that we're going to have a really good time going through this team and watching what they're going to be able to do. I think it's going to be really exciting. I think there's going to be a situation where this team is going to shock a lot of people. I know there's some other places out there that were saying that this team could be on a same path as last year, winning 3 to 4 games. Some of us got us going as, generous as 5. I'm sticking with the 8 wins. I'm sticking with these 8 wins. And if I just fall back and don't, if I'm not correct, then that's fine. But I have high expectations for this team. And with that being said, I'm going to make sure that I root for them everywhere I go. There's just no other way around it. When you look at this journey that has been taken so far in this offseason and how is it being played out for the next the next few months, is nothing to, in my opinion, to look down about. I think this is a really good situation that Coach Helton and company put this team in. Is 8 wins a little bit high? Maybe so, but that's the expectation I have. I think as a fan, you should have the expectations, which that could be another story or another episode in itself for your expectations of this team. But the journey that is about to start, there may be some ups and downs. I expect 8 wins, but there may be some ups and downs where we have maybe 6, 5, 3 wins. Maybe. Do I want that to happen? No, I want us to have 8 wins and win a bowl game. And, personally, I'll be okay with winning the Sun Belt title and not winning the bowl. But those are expectations I have. But this journey is going to be ups and downs. It's going to be. I don't think it's going to be out the gate. We're going to be world beaters and just beat everybody and run through every team that we face. That will be, phenomenal. Is it realistic? No, I don't think it's realistic. But I think the journey that we have is a positive one. I don't see any negative situation that's going on here. Now, I've listened to other commentators who talked about not only just the Georgia Southern Eagles, but the Sun Belt. A lot of us, they have us on the back end of the Sun Belt East. But it's not because they think this team is bad. It's just a lot of unknown. A lot of people think that we're going to be transitioning and from one style offense to the next, and that's where our struggle is going to come. But when you have guys that are coming in that are already ready to run this offense, when you got 2 or 3 quarterbacks that's coming in that can run this offense, I think it's going to be a lot easier than expected. I want people to understand this transition situation. This was not the 2013 or the 2012 team or the 2011 team that is moving from the triple option to this offense. The offense the players that we had on this team were already just that athletic that they could probably play in any style of offense. The offense that we had back in the last few years of our FCS days would struggle moving to an offense like this because those teams are just built totally different. So when you look at this team now, even if we didn't get a Kyle Van Treese, if we were sticking with Cam Ransom or Connor Sigelski, we would have been able to transition just as fluid as it looks right now. So I don't know where people could. I get it because you have a lot of people on the outside looking in, which is why I love this show because I know what this team is made of. I know what they're capable of. I just want to see them execute because I see the talent. A lot of other teams don't know the talent like that. A lot of people who are speaking on this, and I'm not talking about people who make Georgia Southern content. I'm just talking about people who make college football content in general. There's so many other teams out there to really engage with and evaluate. You may not understand the type of talent that Georgia Southern had when we went 10 and when we went 2-10 and flipped to 10-13 and turned back around and went 7-5. You just don't know the talent that some people just don't know the talent that we had, which a lot of this talent was basically just blue collar, smash mouth in your face football players that can adapt to anything that came their way. When we had to pass the ball, we made some changes, and we just wasn't used to it, but we made the changes. When we ran the ball, we did it phenomenal. When we played keep away, we did a good job. So with the team that we have, I'm not going to sit here and say that, it's going to be that big of an issue that we may struggle because a lot of these guys are used to the option. I'm gonna go out here on a limb and say this. I don't think a lot of these players on this team was like, they're not option style football players. You look at what we had back in 2013 and 2012, and you look at now, a lot of these players weren't option style players. We really had a totally different team, 10 years ago. I mean, just the makeup of the team was just built different. So this journey is about to start where we are already in the mode of what the coach wants us to do. He didn't have to change too many people as far as personnel wise. The ones that stand out to me really was the Justin Tomlins and the Cam Ransoms of the world. Those stood out to me the most because those guys kind of fit that mode of what the offense used to be. I feel like Cam Ransom could have been flourishing in this offense. That's the way it's built. But he made a decision to go to another school, and I respect that. But I know what this team is capable of based on the talent. They're capable of winning 8, 9, possibly 10 games. I'm giving them 8. You may want to give them 5. But that's the good thing about going through this journey of what we have going on with Georgia Southern right now. This transition is about to take place on the field. And if it's anything close to what we saw in the spring game, we're going to be in pretty good hands. And throughout the season, if we get better through time, I think it's going to be, a really good situation where we're looking at a winning culture. If it keeps up, we could start looking at a winning culture. The 2-10. I mean, the 2-10 to 10-3 season. That was a string of wins that won a bowl game, but that didn't bring a winning culture. And that's a part of the journey that I want to be a part of. I want this journey to put us into a winning culture where we are expected. I'm going to say this, and I know this might sound crazy, but I'm dead serious when I say this. I wanted to get to the point where we're expected to win 7 games every year minimum. Oh, they got 7 wins. They're good for at least 7. I know somebody said this. I don't know if it was on Twitter or if it was on the comment section. Somebody said that Jared Benko and Coach Clay Helton is trying to put things on track to have Georgia Southern look like the new Cincinnati. That's not that's not a lofty goal to attain, because Cincinnati kicked the doors down for a group of 5 team to be a part of something special in the playoffs. And they didn't play too bad against Georgia. I mean, Georgia was pretty. Georgia's Georgia, but Cincinnati held it on for the as long as they could. But if we want to get Georgia Southern to that promise, that the promised land where we are look at the committee as a group of 5 that's just banging on the door to get into these other schools, this journey is going to be very long for that to happen. I'm not saying that it can't, but we're going to have to go through a lot of stuff to get to that status. A lot of stuff to get to that status. You're probably looking at a situation maybe 4 years minimum, churning out recruits, bringing out the right personnel, the scheduling got to be lined up right. Once you do that, then you can get those things in order. But all of this, what I'm talking about, is basically a journey that we are about to face. We're putting teams on the schedule throughout the next few, years, 5, 10, in some cases 12 years, to get, teams on it so our journey can continue to be as fluid and on the uptick, instead of worrying about, okay, what's going to happen the next time we play such and such. No. You should know who we're about to play, and you should already have this in line. This is why I like doing what I do, because I like to watch what the other teams are doing, and we can understand how we move around to being one of the prominent names in college, in college football. When you're looking at playing against, I got it right here on the screen. We're going to be, let's see what this is. We're going to be playing Chattanooga in 2030. We're going to be playing South Carolina State and North Alabama, which is interesting on that end. We're playing them in 2024, 2026. We got a lot of other teams that we're supposed to be playing Houston sometime later on down the road. We're going to have some teams on the schedule that we can make a name for ourselves out there. And speaking of that, we playing against Nebraska. I want to see how that goes. That right there will be a big statement if we could play and beat Nebraska. We're playing them at home this year. We're playing them at their house at 7:30 p.m. That's going to be a tough one. Especially at night, thinking about it now. It's going to be a tough one. But I still think we can shot the world. I think Nebraska is that talented that we could hang with them and probably sneak a win right there. But the only way we find out is we just got to be on the right foot when we start this journey, which I think now is the time. Now is the time, because the rosters are going to be what they are now. I don't see nobody, adding on to be an impact player. Everybody who's gonna come in is already committed. They come out first thing of the school season, and we need to go and put in some work and make it happen. Before I close, I'm going to say this: you guys got to be prepared as Georgia Southern Eagle fans. There are going to be some things that you may not like to see, but believe me, trust this process as it's going. I think they're on to something here. They've been on to something ever since last November. They're starting to put things into fruition, and before you know it, we're gonna be looking at a situation where, hey, man, we're 5-0. Well, we're 5-1, and then you're gonna be like, okay, I see what the process was about. I see where they're going, and I see where the teams, is actually responding to this new transition, and we as fans need to do the same. I think at the end of the day, we need to criticize when we see something wrong, but we also need to give praise when it's due. And I try my best to do that because you never know, when you be able to do that again. So give them their flowers while they're here. Shout out to Jared Manko. Shout out to Coach Clay Helton and the rest of the staff. Phenomenal job of transitioning this team back in November to now. We're looking really good right now. We're looking really good. So hopefully that will continue to trend. And that's pretty much going to be it for this episode. If you like this commentary, hit the like button. If you like this podcast, share this podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I am on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I'm also on YouTube and Rumble if you want to watch the video of this podcast. It's right there for you to watch. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of your Thursday. I mean, it is time is just flying by really, really fast when it comes to making this content. But I don't mind doing it. I love doing this because of y'all. If it wasn't for y'all, I'd be sitting here talking to myself, but may not be as much enthusiastic as I am now. So enjoy the rest of your guys' Thursday. All the links are down in the description if you want to donate or support. All of that down there. All right, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Y'all be blessed. Peace.